So people want to just see maybe the regular can, but again, yeah, I was gonna, if they wanted to gas or no, is that a good idea? I'm good at that.
Did I say
Now, you didn't say what you're going to do, did you?
this was
From the camera.
It was darker, less bright than this. Some color enhanced.
Wow, that's awesome. That's crazy. Yeah, we tried to get way up going hours and hours again. I see it in Facebook. That's awesome. That's awesome. She never replied. Get started there.
Catch up with you in a minute.
Cindy, you can scoot over one. Hey, what do you need? Let's see.
Sure. I feel like I should tell a joke. I don't have one. But what I do have, that most of you will be able to relate to at some point or another is the Christmas cookies and the significance of the Christmas cookies, that's right, and the Christmas boxes. A lot of us were fortunate enough to get the Christmas boxes, the cookies, and the god-awful stale movie popcorn. There was the packaging that I think was my favorite part, if I'm honest. And they had the fudge, and I can't eat walnuts, so she made me my own special fudge, and Darren loved the peanut butter, and Ariana loved the peanut butter, so we got 10 pounds of peanut butter fudge in that box. So those are, that's just one of my favorite memories of Becky, and, one of my, we had cats, and, oh, boy, got boxes of cat treats, and I think my cats were an extra 5 pounds simply because of the love that Becky sent through the mail for our cats. So it's a great way to, remember and kick off this memorial service to recognize the tremendous woman that Becky was. She has impacted all of us greatly in a number of ways, through cookies, through love, through hugs, and any other way you can think of. When you think of Becky, you always think of her with a smile. And she was a tremendous woman, and I am very, very fortunate that I was able to call her my aunt. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Larry. Come on up and say a few words about his mom.
Thanks for stealing my thunder on the Christmas cookies there. That's half of everything I was going to say. So.
Ignore everything I just said.
This will be quick. So, sorry, I'm going to read from the line I got to. How do I summarize, 74 years in 10 minutes? How do I describe unconditional and never-ending love with words? You can't. I can't. What I can do, though, is I can look at the room, and everybody can look next to each other. We can take in the moment. Every moment in all of our lives, every moment in Mom's life has culminated in everybody being here today to celebrate Becky, to celebrate my mom. She was born in 1950 to Jack and Marie Brooks of Clintwood, Virginia. She couldn't have been prouder of that. She loved being from those mountains. She loved her mother and father with all of her heart. Some of my best memories of Mom are listening to her tell stories of being back home, who was who, what was what they did, what they were doing, all the juicy gossip. These will be the times that I love the most with me and Mom. The family moved from Virginia in the mid-50s and eventually settled in Ypsilanti in 1955. She went to Willow Run schools, graduated from Willow Run High School in 1968. She was in the Brownies and in the Girl Scouts. She did synchronized swimming in high school. She had a very quintessential teenage life back then. You know, I really don't know much about the person that Mom was in her 20s and earlier. But all the stories I'm hearing, she really wasn't that much different than her in her 40s and beyond. So, she was salt to the earth, and she was a straight shooter. You always knew where you stood with Mom. Mom had a few different jobs in her 20s. I think being a bank teller at NBD Bank is the one that I knew the most about. My favorite story from her back then is when she caught somebody trying to deposit counterfeit money. As a kid, I thought my mom worked for the Secret Service or something like that when she told me that story. In 1979, Mom eventually got a job at the post office. She started off as a carrier. In 1984, she became a clerk. She retired from the post office in 2014, 35 years of loyal service. In 1982, Mom gave birth to her first and only child, me. You know, I didn't know at the time, but I won the lottery that day. Of all the people in the world, I was lucky enough to have her as my mother. My parents weren't rich people, but I could never tell. Everything I ever wanted and everything I ever wanted to do, she made sure it happened. In other words, for those who don't know me, I was spoiled rotten. Still am. Thank you, Heather. Some of the best memories I have as a kid are all the things that I did with Mom. Going to grandparents' house almost every day. Going to Florida every year. Family reunions every year. Taking me to Cape Canaveral. Different wildlife safaris. Any sporting event I wanted to go to. Any sport I wanted to play. Taking me to the different music concerts. Any concert I wanted to go to, she made sure we got tickets. We'll say sitting third row at the Palace for Billy Ray Cyrus with the unbuttoned shirt and the curly hair sticking out. I think that one may have been a little bit for Mom more than anything, but just saying. But she wanted me to have the best childhood. She wanted me to experience all the good things in life. Except Mom was a picky eater, so I had to find out about Chinese food, sushi, and Indian food when I got a little bit older. So. But it was always Mom, and it was always only Mom that would make it happen, and she made sure that I never went without. Besides spoiling me rotten, Mom loved to bake for others. But she was so proud that she was a good baker, and she loved the compliments, and I'm still hearing them today. You know, she loved making the German chocolate cakes for birthdays and family reunions. She loved making Rice Krispie treats for the sporting events, and she really loved making the Christmas cookies. Sugar cookies, chocolate chip cookies, fudge, pinwheels, rock candy, rum balls, everything. She put the boxes together every year and she sent them out, and she loved taking the requests for more next year and people saying, make sure I have more fudge and I want the peanut butter, not the chocolate, or that was awesome. So we had cookies in the house for weeks. It would start about after Thanksgiving, it would go all the way through Christmas. I remember years she's still making cookies after Christmas, and I didn't say a thing because the more cookies the merrier. Any opportunity she had to bake for somebody, she took it. She was an amazing baker, and she loved to see the joy that it brought other people. Mom also loved the natural beauty of the world. She loved waterfalls. She loved the beach. She loved the mountains, different animals, different wildlife. One year she took a trip to South Dakota to see her brother and sister. To this very day, even 3 weeks ago, she was talking about how beautiful the Badlands were, how beautiful Crazy Horse Monument was. Mom had a little Native American in her blood, so She said when she got to Crazy Horse, she just felt chills run down her spine seeing it for the first time. Although Mom wasn't a very religious person, she was very spiritual, and she believed in a higher power other than the laws of man. She loved waterfalls. We always had a picture of a waterfall in the house or a calendar with waterfalls in the house. She never could tell me exactly why she loved the waterfalls, but I think they reminded her of home. How clean everything looked after the fresh rain, water running down the side of the mountain, the sound it makes, the cold creek. She loved home. Mom loved the beach. She loved taking me to Florida and feeling the warmth of the sun and walking down the beach. The white sands and blue water of Clearwater Beach was always her favorite destination, and she always took us there every year. Every time I go to the beach, I think of Mom, and I think of what it was like as a kid going there. She let me play at the beach all day, all hours until I was ready to go. And then I made her take me to mini golf too, and she did that too. So, Mom loved her country. She's proud to be an American. She always flew the flag at her house. She always stood for the anthem, held her hand above her heart. She was really proud that her father was a U.S. Marine and served honorably in World War II at the Battle of Iwo Jima. Most of all, Mom loved her family. It was the most important thing in Mom's life. She always knew everybody's comings and goings, what birthdays or events were coming up. I was always astonished at how much Mom knew about the family. She always wanted to make sure her family had what they needed, and she could rarely say no to anybody. If it was within Mom's power, she would make sure it was done. She had to change a schedule, get up early, stay late. Whatever was needed, she saw to it that it was done. When it came to me, she did this to a fault. Again, spoiled rotten. There's a poem written by Tecumseh. I don't know if Mom's ever read it, but it was always a favorite one of mine. And as I'm writing this and I'm thinking back on Mom, I realize this poem really describes her to a T. Just like to share it with everybody. So, Tecumseh, live your life. So live your life that the fear of death can never enter your heart. Trouble no one about their religion. Respect others in their view, and demand that they respect yours. Live your life, perfect your life, beautify all things in your life. Seek to make your life long and its purpose in the service of your people. Prepare a noble death song for the day when you go over the great divide. Always give a word or a sign of salute when meeting or passing a friend, even a stranger, when in a lonely place. Show respect to all people and grovel to none. When you arise in the morning, give thanks for the food and the joy of living. If you see no reason for giving thanks, the fault lies only in yourself. Abuse no one and no thing, for abuse turns the wise ones to fools and robs the spirit of its vision. When it comes your time to die, be not like those whose hearts are filled with the fear of death, so that when their time comes, they weep and pray for a little more time to live their lives over again in a different way. Sing your death song and die like a hero going home. Mom lived a good life. There were rocky roads, but there were calm seas. No amount of time with my mom could ever be enough. No words that I can say or write will ever truly define what my mom meant to me. That being said, I want to leave everyone with these thoughts. Love the people next to you. Cherish the time that you have with them. Hindsight's always 20/20. We can always look back and wish things were different, wish we would have said something, wish we wouldn't have said something. Wish things were different. Don't dwell on yesterday and the shoulda, coulda, woulda. Concentrate on what we can do today to make tomorrow better. Time is limited. Mom loved everybody in this room with all of her heart, and you all loved Mom. Thank you all for being here. showing me and Mom your love and support. God bless.
So Becky loved tradition, as Larry shared with us. And she loves selflessly and with a great amount of passion. I am going to read a poem that when you hear it, I hope you hear Becky's voice. Thank you. Yeah, it's taking me a second. Hold on. Don't cry for me. I will be okay. Heaven is my home now, and this is where I'll stay. Don't cry for me. I'm where I belong. I want you to be happy and try to stay strong. Don't cry for me. It was just my time, but I will see you someday on the other side. Don't cry for me. I am not alone. The angels are with me to welcome me home. Don't cry for me, for I have no fear. All my pain is gone, and Jesus took me home. Don't cry for me. This is not the end. I'll be waiting here for you when we meet again. And Becky, I didn't always listen to you, so I'm not listening to you now. But I love you. And if anyone would like to come up or stand up and say a few words about Becky or share a story, we would love to invite you to do so.
I'll share something.
Thank you.
Miss Becky was a very loving, and she shared Brooks while Larry with us. And we're so thankful that she did, because as we were teenagers and he came into my life when I was graduating high school, and I think we appreciated him. And I know it was a sacrifice for her every day working at the bank, and she would come over early in the morning to drop him off. And you could just see in her face that she wished that she could have stayed with us and had the fun that we had with him. I watched Brooke sometimes when she just needed some mom time at the house. I would, get him to sleep, and he didn't want to go to sleep all the time. But Becky shared her sugar cookie recipe with me. I know she's probably shared it with a bunch of you guys too, but it means so much, because I've never found or tasted another sugar cookie that is as good as what she shared her recipe with me. She was very special to my mom and dad, as she was to all of our family. And we loved her mom and dad. I love you. And I don't want to lose contact, just because as you get older in life, like you said, you got to love the people that are in your life and not forget about them, because someday you get a call and they're gone. And the older you get, it seems like frequently this is happening. And just love one another, and
Thank you, Dina.
Thank you, Leanne.
It was lovely.
You hear that?
Jason. And you said something that you weren't raised rich. Our mamas were epitome. You can't buy what they give us. And you're not alone. I want you to know that. You might be a brother from another mother, but you're my little brother. I grew up with him and was blessed to live life. And it all makes sense why I've been fluffy most of my life with all the cookies that I've been shared with and blessed with from my mom. And he grew up around my house a lot, and I was able to be blessed to have them in our life, and it is amazing. But you know what I mean by you're not alone, because I'm a king baby, also spoiled little rotten brat. If you need a second on that, my sister that just stood up will be able to share that way, and I'm fine with that. But our mama gave something that you can't buy, and I know for a fact that she's at peace. And they're having all kinds of lovely stories up there about the two of us in life. So that's the love I remember from Becky.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I can start calling on people too.
Yeah.
You need volunteers now.
I have wonderful memories of Becky, and she was not only a cousin but a very good friend to my mother-in-law, Nina. I remember when the cousins came to Nina's house. It was Becky and Mary, and Aunt Patty came from Virginia, and they made us all soup, beans, and cornbread. And of course, Becky brought the
Pinwheels.
pinwheels.
Nobody has that recipe yet, like that.
David's favorite.
Got you, buddy. I found
and
it.
the strawberries dipped in chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
And they had the best stories and a lot of gossip, of course. So it was great for us to hear the stories from Virginia and back home. So we will miss her. Love you.
Mom loves you, Paige.
She loved that
She
time
really
with you.
did.
Yeah, she loved that time with you. You kept her going. You kept her moving, and she loved it.
Yeah.
She kept pictures of you. She has all your artwork.
Mm-hmm.
She absolutely loved you to death.
I just wanted to say how grateful I am for having her.
There are some cardinal items around the room. We brought them so people who would like to take something home of Becky's could take something cardinal home because she loved her cardinals and she loved anything red. So please feel free to grab something that's sitting around the room to take home and think of Becky.
All you bad kids in that back row back there.
Mhm.
You
I'm gonna
got
start
anything
calling
to
names.
say?
So I mentioned this to Larry yesterday, and something Julie said made me think of it today. The poem you read, you hope we could hear it in Aunt Becky's voice, and hearing Aunt Becky's voice was never difficult.
She had one pitch, and it was hot.
So, we have a little bit of time if you would like to continue to look and just share stories amongst yourself. But we would like to take an opportunity to have everyone come up and give your last respects to Becky. And in light of who Becky is, in honor of who Becky is, we are going to the Mason Lodge. I should have wrote down the address, but you can Google it and find it. 14 Whitaker.
Yeah,
1214, I think.
1214 Whitaker Road. And we will be sharing a repast there because you never left Becky without having something in your stomach. And so we want to ensure that that tradition stays true to who Becky is. So if everyone just wants to take the time, come up, say your last respects, that would be great.
Sorry.
And recognize your suit.
I know, I clean up pretty well every once in a while. Such a thank you, buddy. Thank you. No, I always make you cry every time I say something else.
You did a great job, brother.
I love you, buddy. We gotta get together more often. Stuff like this. Thank you so much. Thank you for
guy.
I know she did.
We all love you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Hope that was okay to
Buddy,
share.
oh, dude, that was perfect. That was perfect. Mom was, she wouldn't want, she'd want us all laughing, joking. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cousin. I know.
Yeah, you do.
Been here for a while.
I knew you.
Yeah, I'm with It's been a while, yeah. That's not the problem. We've had like one